Hi guys, Scott Woodward with you with the Champion Profits summary for the weekend, and we're back to Rugby League. You beauty. The Four Nations, Rugby League Four Nations 2011 kicks off this weekend, and just before we talk about the games, just have a look at the overall outright markets, and clearly we can't be on anyone but Australia. Look, we think anywhere around the $1.40 mark is good value. We think that they'll only firm. They look very solid, very strong in all the positions, with a little question mark perhaps on the centres. Greg Inglis has been named in an extended bench this weekend. We don't expect him to play. I think he'll have his first game next week, but he is to come into the side, and it is an untouched side for what won very comfortably 2 weeks ago against New Zealand. So we think at $1.40 they're very comfortable. We do think that the value in the betting is England. We don't see a lot of difference at this stage between England and New Zealand. We'll talk about England and New Zealand in a second. But at the odds on offer, when we first went out at $10.50, just under double-digit odds, I think they're around about $9 now. We think England are very good value and think they have a very good chance of playing Australia in the final, and they'll be around about the $5.50, $6 mark. So a terrific trade and bet back as far as we're concerned for England at this stage. Let's look at the first game. This is game one, going to be played at Halliwell at Warrington between Australia and New Zealand, and it'll basically be a rematch of what we saw in Newcastle a couple of weeks ago, when, quite frankly, Australia should have won even by a bigger space than what they did. They won by 42-6. It could have quite easily been over 50 points. And it's the same side that's going to go out for Australia, and you would think that they'll only be fitter. In fact, New Zealand have lost Packer, which was their best go forward, big guy up front, while New Zealand never lacked for big guys up front. I do think he's a loss. Look, the only way we can see New Zealand winning this game is if Benji Marshall just takes the game by the scruff of the neck and has a blinder, which he's certainly quite capable of doing. But as usual, the Kiwis don't have a tactical kicker, don't have an organiser and a talker, and they basically are fielding two forwards, don't have a genuine halfback, unlike Australia, who has the world's best player in Jonathan Thurston, and his little sidekick, Darren Lockyer, right alongside of him. Not a little bad combination, backed up, of course, by Slater at fullback and Smith at hooker. Australia look the best of good things, and we won't be doing anything on this game. They're $1.20, $1.25. If you like taking the odds on, by all means take it. It's not what we want to do. We will be just watching this game. We're going to be on Australia to win the final, so obviously we want them to win this game, and we will expect that they'll firm in from that $1.40 quote that we have in our staking plan. The other game over the weekend is England playing Wales, and the conditions shouldn't make any difference here. They will be light showers forecast, but the interesting thing here is that England have plumped for Ranji Chase, who was the man of steel, their best player voted in the Super League in England last year, and he's got good skills, Ranji. He missed a lot of tackles last week against France, but he is a big X factor for England, and if he can combine with their fullback and at this stage, they look like they're going to play Kevin Seinfeld at 5'8" to allow Chris Honington to play like forward, the workaholic Chris Honington. Great to see him playing in an international game. They look like they've got a very, very formidable combination in the halves there. I would expect that Kevin will go into the forwards at some stage and allow for Gareth Widdop to come on off the bench and create havoc. So a real X factor for England. They've got a couple of X factors, not only on the bench, but in their spine. And they should win this game very comfortably against the Wales team that boasts a lot of part-timers in their side. They're just making up the numbers. Forget about what you've read. They're making up the numbers. England should be winning this game and winning it comfortably. They're $1.05, so you'd expect them to. But look, we hope they get through this game without any injuries, and we see some very good combinations. Even though they won easily against France last week, they were not very, very impressive. According to our man over there, they missed a lot of tackles. They need to get their combinations right and their defence right, and I think they'll be using this game to do just that. And then the big game that we're looking forward to is when they play New Zealand, and the winner of that game is likely to play Australia in the final. So look, fantastic action. Can't wait to see it. Always good to see England, Australia and New Zealand play, and back to the Rugby League, something that we love, something that we're very good at. We've had a very big year last year, as we have done. We've been profitable for the last 8 years, and I think we can make a good little earn here at some stage during the Four Nations. Look, the other trades that we'll be having over the weekend, we'll be doing something in the Victoria Derby. We suggested to our listeners on when we did a webinar a couple of weeks ago that you should be on Manawanui to win the Victoria Derby when it was $3.50. We suggested that he would win easily last weekend and he would firm into around the 5-4, 6-4 mark. Well, he certainly did win easy and he has firmed right in now. He's got out a little bit to around the $2.60 mark with most bookies. Some bookies have him shorter than $2.60. $2.60 is the best price available with bookies, and you can get $2.62 with Betfair. Now, while we suggested that you back him 2 weeks ago, we're suggesting that now he's rock bottom, and we're all about value. We like to bet at the top of the market and lie at the bottom of the market, and just like we did with the Cox Plate favourite last week when he was rock bottom. Can't believe he was 2-1, to be quite honest. We're not saying that after the event, but Manawanui has now got in the $2.62, and he may very well win this event. He's certainly the class horse, but he does have to run the 2,500 metres, and there will be wet on the ground. We don't know how wet at this stage, but any wet is not going to be good for him. It's going to make it harder for him to run the distance. And taking rock bottom, $2.62, $2.60, we're quite happy to lay him for something. I've got no doubt that he'll be traded at $3 or more at some stage during the race. So we're looking to make a little earn on Manawanui in the Derby there. Those that were on him at the big odds can make a very, very good earn, and good luck to you. Look, over the weekend, the Badger has spoken to his resources in the UK, and he'll be looking to have some excellent trades for you on the tennis, on the cricket, and also on the EPL, where we've struck a bit of form over the last few days since a setback with Manchester United on the weekend. What an incredible aberration that was. But we're back on track and struck some good form. The last few days have all been winning days for us, and I think we'll continue on over the weekend with our winning trades. I hope you back a winner and look forward to talking to you soon. Cheers.